So it's not just, of course, Jays fans that think about traveling south of the border. There are others who think about doing that as well. But let's find out some more about travel. McKenzie McMillan is here to see where people are going this summer. He's a travel consultant at the Travel Group, and he joins us live from Richmond, British Columbia, where he's attending a travel conference. Now, the last time we spoke, you said that Canadians are turning away from U.S. destinations. What's going on right now?
Yeah, so we're still very much seeing that. We are seeing a pretty much complete drop in leisure travel to the United States. We're still seeing some corporate business to the United States, but that is also slowing down a little bit. What we're seeing from leisure travelers is we're seeing a real mix depending on what the type of traveler is. So what we're seeing is families are pivoting to places like Mexico, close proximity where our dollar goes fairly far. But what we're seeing from other travelers is a real increase in Europe, but also in Asia and places like Japan.
Wow. And again, you know, I mentioned this the last time you were in here in the newsroom. When you and I talked on Cross Country Checkup probably about 2 months ago, you were beginning to see a trend. When you were here maybe 2 weeks ago, you saw the trend get stronger, and now it's even more pronounced, is it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had seen the trend sort of begin, and then, you know, through the times that we've spoken before about the anger towards the U.S. government and the tariff talk and the 51st state comments being a real driver for why travelers were not crossing the border. Now what we're seeing is a much more tangible reason in the sense that people are concerned about the increased scrutiny at the border, which has been headlines all over the country for the last, roughly the last month now. And so we're seeing that people are actually quite concerned about their safety. And that seems to be a much bigger driver for really making people make that final decision to not go to the United States and maybe travel somewhere else this year instead.
Yeah, and by safety, I think a lot of people are concerned about the potential arbitrary conduct of border officials or police, depending on the traveler's nationality status or who knows what, really. So tell me about what you're seeing in terms of Air Canada and WestJet and how they're changing routes and deployment of their jets.
Yeah, so we've been hearing news over the last few weeks about Air Canada and WestJet both changing a lot of their route plans for the summer. WestJet's been a bit more pronounced with it over the last few days. They've canceled about 9 new routes between Canada and the United States. And one of the ones out of here on the West Coast that was being quite celebrated was a direct route from Vancouver to Austin, which they've now pushed a start date back until the fall. And with all these airlines, when they launch new routes, it's a huge amount of money they have to pour into it for marketing and for general operations to get a route started. So if they're canceling these routes or pushing them back to a later date, they're doing it for a very specific reason, and that is that the number of travelers is just really reduced.
2 quick final questions. I love putting you on the spot, and you're always fantastic at answering them. First of all, somebody who's watching now who had been thinking about going to the States, doesn't want to do it now, and wants you to suggest to them a great alternate destination.
Oh my gosh. Well, as I said before, there's a whole world outside of the U.S. and Canada. So I'd have to ask what they want to get out of the trip. What are their expectations? Definitely, you know, if they're looking for a quick getaway, I'd say somewhere in your own backyard here in Canada or maybe Mexico, where we've got really good direct service to get down there without having to connect in the United States. But if they're looking for a real adventure, I would say take a look at Asia. It's really opened up post-pandemic now, and places like Japan, Taiwan, and Thailand have all become extremely popular destinations for people.
Yeah, and so you kind of anticipated the second part of my question, but I will ask it in terms of staying in Canada. I mean, for a lot of us, we can just hop in the car and go exploring, and wherever you are in the country, there are lots of beautiful places close by. But either from personal experience or professional, any kind of surprising destination, delightful destination you might suggest?
Ooh, I'm going to make someone in Canada happy and someone in Canada unhappy if I say this wrong. I would say probably Newfoundland has been one that we've seen a lot of real interest in. Throughout the entire province of Newfoundland has been extremely popular, Grossmore National Park, and that whole area we've seen a real interest, a real pickup in interest for that, and actually the whole Maritimes as well, so Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia as well. And I'll preface that by saying, I'll say that I'm speaking from that as someone from Vancouver, whereas someone who maybe is in New Brunswick might be much more interested in coming to a place like Tofino or Whistler on the other side of the country. So it's all perspective, I guess.
Look at you. It's almost as if you're running for office, which you're not, but you've managed to touch on both sides of the country, and I'm sure make more people happy than you made unhappy. McKenzie, thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks for having me.